was I finally got my offer from Oregon. And I
Yeah.
loved Oregon. So I immediately committed to them.
Yeah.
Audio Jungle. Audio.
He played his college football at Texas Tech. He also spent some time with the Oakland Raiders and the Seattle Seahawks. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you guys defensive end Brandon Jackson. Appreciate you taking the time to come on the podcast.
Man, appreciate you for having me, bro. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. So let's go ahead and get started on your journey. So how did you get involved in the playing football in the defensive end position?
Man, to be honest with you, I ain't like football. I was playing football because my homeboys played it.
Yeah.
I played basketball because that's what my family kind of did. But yeah, junior year of high school, my mom was like, if you get a scholarship and I don't got to pay for college, I'll buy you a car.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, cool. Try to do the basketball thing. I had like D2s.
Yeah.
No full rides though. So I was like, I got to take something else serious. Took football serious.
No.
And yeah, started getting my scholarships in at the end of junior year. Got my car, and I was like, all right, cool. That was my only goal, to get a car. I ain't really cared nothing about nothing else.
Okay, yeah. Did you ever play any other position, or you always was a defensive end?
I was literally, when I started playing, I was just an athlete. So
Okay.
I played running back all the way from 7th grade to 9th grade. In the 9th grade year, they moved me to quarterback.
Yeah.
We ran a triple option.
Oh,
So
okay.
I played quarterback 9th grade, 10th grade, and 11th grade. And
Yeah.
then 11th grade, I was the second string quarterback and the starting middle linebacker.
Yeah.
And then coming in the senior year, I played middle linebacker, outside linebacker.
Okay.
And eventually college took me to DN.
Oh, you missed to do it all then, I see.
Man, yeah.
So did you like have a favorite team and a favorite player growing up before you made it to the NFL?
Yeah, my favorite team was the Steelers. That's just, born and raised in Pittsburgh, they wrap you in a terrible towel, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you're born. So I love the Steelers, and I just love Troy Polamalu,
Yeah.
all them boys, Hines Ward. Them was just
Yeah.
my guys, James Harrison's. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, them guys I grew up on. I remember them, man. I forgot about them, yeah. So going back to you was a big-time Holly recruit coming out of high school. So what was the recruiting process like for you?
Man, it was scary. It was the
Yeah.
first time in my life I felt like the spotlight was on me. I come from a family, you know what I mean? I got 2 older siblings and 1 baby sister, but my grandma and everybody, she raised 16 foster kids, but we
Yeah.
all was kind of one big family.
Yeah.
I was between households, and I used to feel like I was almost lost. The spotlight was never on me.
Yeah.
I wasn't the oldest, I wasn't the youngest.
Yeah.
I was the most chill, so I never really had a spotlight. And then football, I started getting real good at it, or at least showing my talents for it. And when I started getting recruited,
Yeah.
everything was about me.
Yeah.
And it came at such a fast pace, I almost didn't know how to handle it. I was just kind of shying away from it, but I couldn't for too long because, the bigger the school, the more publicity, the more people wanted to talk.
Yeah.
And I was really just blessed that I had a counterpart, one of my good friends, Delvon Simmons, who was just as highly recruited.
Yeah.
So we got to go through it together. So we started doing all our visits together and stuff like that, and it helped me because he was a little bit more social than me at the time.
Yeah, I feel that. So what do you remember, like the most memorable high school moment that you remember while you was playing?
It was our rival team, Gateway High School,
Yeah.
senior year, and we was going up against them. It was a real good game, real close game, and I got an interception.
Yeah.
Kind of switched the thing, and after that, I was turned. That's probably
Yeah.
my favorite high school moment. Yeah, man, we ended up winning that game, and it's one of them city
Yeah.
games that, like, bragging rights type of
Yeah.
deal. So yeah, that's probably my favorite moment of high school.
You had like homies on the team? Like,
Yeah,
man.
My closest friends, we still cool, and then my younger brother played for the other team. He played for
Okay.
Gateway. My brother on my father's side.
Okay.
So it was a little friendly
Yeah.
banter after that, talking trash.
Okay. Did any other them make it to the league? Any of your friends? Or you was the only one that just made it?
From high school, the Delvon Simmons, he had a year.
Yeah.
He had a
okay.
year in, yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, that was about it.
All
Besides that, it's me. Everybody else who made it from my house school in the league is older.
Yeah. I see you wore number 93 for Seattle. Did you always wear that position? Wore that number in high school?
Nah, in high school, it's all about single digits.
Oh, yeah, they were. Yeah,
I was
that's
number
right. That's
5.
right. Yeah.
I was number 5. Then I got to senior year and stuff, and I switched number 1. I was the first person in my high school that wore number 1.
Yeah.
They ain't like that, but I was like, I'm wearing number 1.
Okay.
So I rocked 1, and then Yeah, even in college, I went to college. I was like, I'm wearing one,
Yeah.
but they ain't let me do it at first. But eventually, I ended up getting to my single digit number for a different reason.
Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah. Going back to your college decision, so what made you choose Texas Tech?
all right. So Red Raiders don't hate me, but what truly happened was I finally got my offer from Oregon, and I
Yeah.
loved Oregon, so I immediately committed to them.
Yeah.
Committed to Oregon, and then there was some stuff going on with Chip Kelly. And then everybody was talking about, you ain't gonna be able to do this, you ain't gonna be able to win this and that. So I was like, you know what, let me open up my recruitment a little bit.
Yeah.
And I got my dream school, which was USC, but they offered me the day of signing day.
Yeah.
So I just immediately like, yeah, I'm coming, right?
Yeah.
And then I told my mom that she's like, they recruited you at least, like you ain't never took a visit, nothing. It's in California, they say it's in the hood. I was like, it don't matter, it's USC, it's Pete Carroll, like
facts.
I don't care.
Yeah.
And then the more and more I thought about it, I was like, dang, I think they wanted my homie Del Vaughn, and they heard that we wanted to be to school together. So I was like, man, I ain't about to go there and coattail off somebody. So at that point, I was stuck.
Yeah.
And my mom really just liked Texas Tech, and she liked the recruiter. And she was like, what about Lubbock? And I was like, it's the middle of nowhere. I mean, I had a good time, but
Yeah.
and I was like, you know what? Forget it. Whatever. I'll be a big fish in a small pond. And I went to Lubbock. That's the only reason why.
Yeah, I feel you. I cringed when you said the name Chip Kelly because I'm an Eagles fan. You know about all that stuff behind what he
Yeah,
did with
man.
Deshaun Jalen McCoy. I said, man, that guy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, that's crazy, man. So going back to you, you scored your first career fumble recovery touchdown against Texas. Can you take me through that play and how did that moment feel for you?
You know, if you follow college football, that Texas kind of run a Big 12, right? Or at least when they were there, they did.
Yeah.
So it was just one of those moments where we had on these unique uniforms. Texas, I didn't grow up in the state of Texas, so I didn't inherit the beef of choosing a school and liking stuff. Like I said, I came to Tech for my own personal reasons. But by that year, I had got really involved in a rivalry, and they was battling. They had Tyrone Swoops at quarterback.
Yeah.
My boy ended up playing with him at in Seattle.
Yeah.
Turned into a tight end because he couldn't throw the ball. I don't know why he was there at Texas.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, he was trying to roll out, and my boy Pete was coming off the edge.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he hit him, I hit him. One of us hit him. But I know I picked up the ball and scooped and scored. And about 1 yard touchdown.
Oh, okay.
You couldn't tell me nothing. I went to practice next week like, man, put me in a tight end, put me in receiver. Y'all know what I can do? Off a 1 yard touchdown. So.
Yeah, I want to say I did see that play on TV while I was playing because you know when the Texas and the Texas Tech play, you got to be tapped in on that for the rivals. And you was you trash talk on the field? You talk a lot of trash for real?
I talk cash. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
but I started out pretty cool, pretty chill, right? And then I just kind of fill out the person, and I'll be like looking at their mentality. If it's a guy who don't talk a lot, I gotta figure out how to get him to talk. If it's a guy who do talk a lot, them is the fun ones. Yeah, because I get a little explicit on that.
Sure. Yeah. Going back to your high school days, so you had became a leader on your team your senior year. So what did that leadership role feel for you, and how did that impact your journey in football?
Man, I think becoming a leader in high school was it was really enlightening, I guess I would say. Because, again, I wasn't a person who wanted to be in the limelight. That wasn't really my natural thing. You know how your parents would tell you, like, oh, you're a natural born leader. Yeah. People are drawn to you. I never really understood that. Yeah. I didn't understand it in high school, really. But a coach who I didn't really always see eye to eye had took over a senior year. And he was kind of pushing the same logic, and I was kind of defiant towards him. You know what I mean? Apologize, Jim. But, it showed me a lot because when I got to college, I tried to go back in the back and people kept being drawn to me, keep wanting to hear what I got to say, following me, listening to me. And it came to a point where in college they was like, you're a great player, but you're a cancer to the team. Yeah. So all you do is talk trash and you do your work, but you don't try to bring nobody along, and you see people are looking to you. Yeah. And I was like, well, I'm not asking them to look to me. I'm just trying to, you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm just trying to handle what I got to handle to get up out of here. Right. And then, but just to hear you're a cancer to other people, and I was like, I like people. Yeah. I ain't trying to be a cancer, so I kind of poured myself into trying to switch my mindset and poured it into like trying to bring people along with me and challenge them in a different way. And then, like I said, it started in high school, but by the end of college, it finally clicked to me about, you know, them older people telling that people are drawn to you and the responsibility that comes with that. Okay. And it just shaped me to be a good man, and a lot of stuff that I do now, I attribute to that.
Yeah, everything for a reason, so I see that, man. So we done talked about your high school journey and your college journey, so let's go and move on to the NFL. So you went undrafted, so how did that motivate you, your NFL career?
Yeah. First of all, they had me messed up. I don't know how I went undrafted. I get it, but I don't get it, right? Yeah. But yeah, I really don't get it. I don't even act like I do. I done seen people get drafted now.
Yeah.
I'm like, them stats didn't touch half of mine.
Yeah.
Whatever, but I got
Yeah.
there, right?
Yeah.
So I get there, I get a bunch of calls asking to come into camp after the draft. And I'm over here devastated because I didn't get drafted. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna keep listening to people call. I'm like, I'm over there talking about what's the money like? What y'all talking about? Because there's
Yeah.
such thing as being invited to a camp as undrafted free agent, and there's like a preferred free agent.
Okay.
Preferred free agent, you pretty much they thought about drafting you, but they didn't. But they still gonna give you a little something to come.
Yeah.
I ain't get none of that. So I was like, oh, y'all really trying to just try me? Like nothing. Just pretty much, I'm just trying out. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that was a hard pill to swallow. But I went up there originally to Seattle as a team I accepted to come to camp, and I killed it.
Yeah. Okay.
But they already had their team established. They still had the Legion of Boom pieces going around.
Yeah.
So they was like, man, we really like you, but we honestly don't got no room. I was like, wait, what? Because they had drafted some people.
Yeah. Okay.
So they was like, but Ken Norton is over in Oakland. He was our DC for the Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
And you really fit the way he runs things. So they hit him up, and he was like, yeah, send him over. So I literally, like the following week, flew out to Oakland, balled out there, and I was going crazy there, but it was because their schemes were similar, so it was easier for me to pick up on the other rookies.
Yeah.
But I balled out, ended up inviting me to camp, and that whole thing started. And I ended up making a team as the second string, DN, outside linebacker, Leo position kind of thing.
Yeah.
I made a second string behind Khalil Mack. But for some reason, I wasn't on the active roster.
Yeah.
Again, it didn't make sense. I was like, hold on, I'm his backup. I'm on practice squad.
Yeah.
And he's on the active roster.
Yeah.
How'd that work?
How was your first reaction with Khalil Mack and all the other guys? Did you ever get starstruck or anything? Or you was just amazed, dang, I'm really here.
Not by K Mac. I think K Mac, he real low key, and he's a natural born leader. You know what I mean? He tried to bring you along.
Yeah.
I wasn't really intimidated or starstruck with him. I was more motivated because I was like, again, y'all said I'm the second best person at this position, but I'm not on the active roster, you know? So my mindset was just a little bit different. I didn't really have time to be enamored with them. It wasn't until I got active and we played Green Bay that I got the starstruck because we went against Julius Pepper was there that time.
Yeah, I remember
seen Jay Pep, and I'm like, hey, yo.
Yeah.
So after the game, I'm trying to get an autograph, and K Mac was like, what you doing, man? That's your peer now. I said, I don't care about none of that, bro. That's not my peer. That's Pep.
That's Pep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I didn't end up getting it because he made me feel like I was being a groupie, but it is what it is.
I get it. Because like I said, we fans, so hey, that's all I know. I understand, man. So can you describe how the Seahawks culture was playing for them? Because you was there with the Legion of Boom when they had Richard Sherman, Cam Chancellor.
Yeah.
So how was that being in practice with them and everything?
Man, I think that was the biggest blessing and helped my career so much, being around true vets.
Yeah.
There's a lot of players in the league that are talented, but understanding the game is the biggest switch between college and pros. You know what I mean? Like, if you got to the pros, it's because you got the talent.
Yeah.
But the mental aspect is different. And being with the Legion of Boom, people who won and people who were secure in their job, they knew no matter what it is, they made their money. And if you don't want me, they're going to be somewhere else playing and starting, right? So they wanted to really bring you up and challenge you. And, man, that culture was like a brotherhood for real. I know people joke about it, say about it, but it was legit a brotherhood. I'm talking about arguments, fights, jokes, but also majority of it was building each other up, you know? I remember I started off on a prep squad there too, and I had got active because a guy got hurt. In that game, I went off. I went crazy.
Yeah.
And I think I had 4 pressures. At the end of the day, I was only supposed to play 5, 10 snaps. I was in there for the whole last quarter because I was balling, right?
Yeah.
And Michael Bennett, everybody know him.
Yeah, I know.
But at the end of the game, I think I had 4 pressures on the last drive. Should have been sacks. But the first thing he told me was you got to finish them. You got to get your money, boy. That ain't, you know what I mean? And then the next week at practice, he was like, oh, I see why I bring B-Jack in here. I came in to replace me. Y'all bring him in to replace me. I understand. But it was real friendly because he was also telling me behind the scene, after he would say that, he'd be like, nah, for real. That's what the league is about.
Yeah.
You find somebody similar to you and they will replace you. He said, and I'm happy that it's you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, dang, might be, because again, I was also a fan of Legion of Boom. But so to hear that is a different type of brotherhood. And he taught me so much about life and marriage and just being a black man. If anybody follows him on social media or just that's a real down-to-earth brother, real smart man, you know what I mean?
Sure. Do you still keep up with a lot of them players to this very day?
Absolutely. And most of it's through friendly banter. I hit up KJ and talk trash about KJ write about Kendrick Lamar and Drake. Yeah, Kendrick Lamar fan. I'm a Drake fan, so I talk trash about that. Talk trash to Bobby Bobby Wagner. I reach out to Mike every once in a while. He's on his journey right now. He's under a new life and doing stuff. So he responds sometimes, not all the time. It's pretty easy to get in touch with Sherm because Sherm's like to talk, period.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I haven't reached out in a minute, but the last time I did, he was talking trash. And I talked to Cam Chancellor pretty often. He probably talked to the most. I go up to Seattle. Him and Sherm have a restaurant. So I go there, frequent there, and I talk to Bam a lot. So, yeah.
I ain't never been up to Seattle before, man. So, yeah. So you had played in London and recorded the sack. So what was it like playing international football? What would you say? Is it a difference between the NFL and international football? I always want to know that.
I think that the surface was a little bit different. It was grass, and it wasn't. I think we was playing on a soccer field, if I'm not mistaken, a makeshift football field. It didn't cause too much drama, but the biggest difference was the fans. The stadium was packed.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like our fans. You know what I mean? You know, that's not their football, essentially. You know what I mean? So it was a lot of people, but they only made noise for large, big plays. But besides that, it kind of was just there to be like, oh, we have football in London. You know what I mean? But it was cool to get a sack because I got the few loud cheers of that game or whatever. So yeah, it was cool. But the thing I remember most about that trip was that we were in the same city as LMA.
Yeah.
She had just dropped, and I was like, oh, man, I'm going to run to LMA. Before Jason Tatum caught, I thought I was going to be the one.
Yeah.
That's what I remember the most about that trip, though.
So how are they international? Like they contact y'all like they do here, like the NFL free agents? Is that how they do? Or how do that process?
I don't know what that was. They contacted I think I was on the Raiders when we did that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they contacted the team, and the NFL is trying to expand. So they have different games in different countries. No, in London I was in Seattle because I went to Mexico and played in there. I was with Raiders. So every year it's going to be international games. They're trying to expand the game, stuff like that. So I don't know how it happens. I don't know how they select anything.
Yeah.
I just get on the plane and show up.
Cause when you was with the Raiders, it was the Oakland Raiders, right?
Yeah, I was Oakland Raiders.
Now they Las Vegas. How you think it'd be like lit if you were living in Las Vegas?
Man, first of all, the Bay was lit.
Yeah.
The Bay was a fun time. Like their culture is different. Like you playing there made me see why Marshawn is who he is. Like going to first Sunday, they got a first Sunday. So every first Sunday of the month, they have a block party.
Yeah.
And it's just free, bro. It's low riders, food trucks, vendors, everything. Everybody just vibing. Like they chill. So the Bay was cool, but if I was in Vegas, I don't think I would have had as much time. I'm not a gambler.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't really know, but we going to see, though, because they just contacted me. And I forgot. They had saying, once a Raider, always a Raider.
Yeah.
They just contacted me and told me that I got 2 complimentary tickets to a game. And I was like, hey, I wonder if they've been saying this since I stopped playing. I ain't been paying attention to my email.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go up there this year and check them out and see what's up.
Okay, yeah, for sure, that, man. So while you was playing, what was your favorite moment playing in the NFL, your favorite memory?
My favorite memory was when we played against the Steelers. It was the first time I got to play hometown.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people don't know this, but like there's like an unspoken rule that when you come out of college, no matter how highly recruited you are, your home team gives you a chance to come work out, so to speak, just off GP, right? But I was going to school in Lubbock, but I'm not from Dallas. The Cowboys knew that, so I didn't get that just GP come work out, right?
Yeah.
But Pittsburgh, I was one of the first people to leave and go so far away. They forgot about me.
Yeah.
So I didn't get that invite. So coming back to Pittsburgh, I'm like, man, they didn't even let me get a workout. Like, they tried me, so I had a different motivation. And I balled out. I had, 2 sacks, but I balled out.
Yeah.
And I was the reason, they always say I'm the reason why Big Ben stopped, because I was the one who hurt him. Like, when I sacked him, he got hurt.
I remember that. I remember that. I remember seeing that play.
So my dad for a long time was like, y'all know Big Ben retired because of my son. But I was like, and I was a Big Ben fan too. So it was like a bittersweet moment, but at the same time in the middle, I was like, man, bump this dude. Like, y'all tried me, this is what happened. So I was balling out that game. That was my favorite moment. I had all my family there. Yeah. It was the first time, like, I'm talking about everybody. I spent so much money on tickets with my family and my friends and college. I'm not college, but high school people and people I wanted to show, like, yeah, I'm better than you.
Sure.
I was giving haters tickets. Everybody in the city, like, pull up, like, you know what I mean? So
gotta do that
was my favorite moment for sure.
Yeah. So are your family like they Pittsburgh fans?
Yeah.
So who was they going for when you was playing?
Both. They was rooting for me to do well, but they wanted the Steelers to win. They ain't never let that be known. Like,
okay.
But yeah, they didn't care about the Seattle when they said they want to see me play, make plays.
Yeah.
They wanted the Steelers to win. They ain't never not say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wish they would have got Shador, man. They should have got Shador. I'm like, man, what y'all doing, Pittsburgh?
I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm over there. I think everybody just in this bidding war for Archie Manning for some reason.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
To me, because that don't make sense.
And what I'm saying is we got to see, because he ain't even played yet. He just getting hyped up because his name. You know how that goes.
No, he played last year.
He played,
did well, but he didn't have a full season.
Yeah, full season is what I meant.
But you're right.
Yeah.
It's that last name, but I can't be mad at it. I ain't mad at it. I'm just happy that, a black man got the same treatment with Bronny.
For sure.
Hey, if I can do that for my son, last name get you in the door, go ahead and do
it. Yeah. So going back to you, so you was a defensive end. So like, who would you say like was the hardest offensive lineman that you went against? What was that like going up against them?
All right, so it was two people. First one was y'all boy from Dallas, Zach Martin.
Yeah. So I had a feeling you was gonna say him. Man. I had a feeling.
So I played DN, and I told growing up, I was outside linebacker. So I gradually grew into that. Well, forcefully, really, because they made me keep gaining weight. But I kept my athletic ability. So the thing that kept me in the league was I played DN, D tackle, and I also played outside linebacker. Right? At this point in time, we're playing the Cowboys, and they was running a lot of zone stretches at the time. So we was trying to play little on second and third down and get in there, off the play action with Dak and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm at the 3, and they run stretch right. Man, when I tell you, Zach Martin and center, whatever his name is, but they took me so far back that I was standing next to Earl Thomas.
Yeah.
Earl was like, "What you doing back here?" I said, "Shh."
I remember.
I don't know. And then I had to go to the coach, hey, coach, don't put me back at 3. No disrespect. I ain't no punk, but it just ain't gonna fit the scheme. Like, these boys is the old country farmer boy. Them boys moving me. Like, they pushed me into the safety. He's like, "You got to fight back." I'm trying. I said, I tried to drop a knee and take a double team. I end up on my back next to Cam. I said, it ain't. I'm just trying to do what's best for the team, right? So that was the hardest that I had to play. But I was playing out of position. Yeah. But Lane, y'all boy Lane from the Eagles.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
I messed myself up talking trash because, he has a, and I apologize for that, but he has the social anxiety type of thing where sometimes he don't play because it's mental, right?
Yeah.
And me talking trash, I'm just talking cash. He's scared, man.
That's what Lane was saying?
No, I was saying that to him.
You were saying, okay.
He wasn't playing the first time we played him.
Okay.
Well, he came back for the playoffs.
Yeah.
We played him first round, so we played him twice that year.
Yeah.
And boy, he put hands, paws, feet all over me. I said, I apologize. I never talk to you about your mental, bro. You got it.
Well, Seattle, y'all, man, them days, but y'all be having my Eagles numbers, man. We just couldn't seem to beat Russ when he was with Seattle.
Russ is special. Everybody, man, he as many corny things as he do. That's a real competitor. Man, I'm talking about dominoes, spades, cars, anything. He gonna compete. So he was always fired up to go play against the Eagles. I don't know what his vendetta was with them, but he always wanted to play with them. I don't know what it was.
I know that, man. So how did you physically and mentally prepare for games? Like, what did you do before games to get you ready?
Before games, aside from just the normal practice and working out, I was real big on music. It was always R&B music, leading up to the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be listening to R&B music, and I'll be reading the Bible. I was big in the Bible, asking God to, He bless me on this venture and make sure I come out unharmed, uninjured, and things like that. And then by the time game time came, when we was out there warming up, I had rap music on, listening to all the, the young boy, the little baby. I'm listening to anything to get me hyped, and I'm just kind of switching out mode. I put my Bible away, and at that time, I'm just staring. I barely stretched. I'd be over there. I'm just kind of one of the dudes who bounce around dancing and jigging, but ain't doing no stretching because I'm just staring, just trying to lock myself into a whole different mindset and stuff like that. Yeah. That's how I did it, though, music and prayer.
Yeah. So do you have any teammates and coaches who helped you impact you on your career? Who was those people?
Yeah, Clint Hurt. Y'all took my boy over to the Eagles, and he got a Super Bowl with y'all.
Yeah.
But Clint Hurt, man, that was my D-line coach. He's the first person to truly believe in me. He the reason why I stayed around Seattle for as long as I did. And he even told me, when you're done, man, you'd be a great coach. You know what I mean? We talked about that when I stopped playing, stuff like that. But yeah, man, Clint Hurt had a big impact on me, man. Yeah. He made Seattle home for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he got the line in Philly pushing.
Yeah, he got them boys rushing,
got them boys ready.
He got them boys rushing.
Yeah. Can you share behind the scenes stories that you had with Seattle? Like, be funny, goofy, anything? You got one?
Not really. I think we was just, man, we was funny, bro. We was a brotherhood. I used to ride around on a little Segway go-kart in the hallways and stuff because Pete had a scooter and I wanted to one-up him. And one day I couldn't find my go-kart and it's the coaches riding around on it.
Right.
Or like we started out, like Pete's thing was compete all the time, no matter what. So we would start off our meetings with shooting hoops. It's like a little bit further than a free throw, but it would be a competition, right? Because you got to be competing. And when the Warriors on they run, they bring the Warriors in.
Yeah.
And to watch Tyler Lockett go back and forth with Steph and them boys, and I was fire because, hey, I don't know if you know, but Tyler Lockett got a strap. He can shoot that ball.
Really?
He was going back and forth with them boys. I got a little bit. It was cool.
So they be having like gyms, basketball gyms in those facilities?
Nah, so Pete just everywhere he'd been, I guess it started in USC, he'd bring a goal. He has a goal in his meeting rooms. I'm sure like now, because he's with the Raiders in Vegas, he probably got a goal there. That's just his thing. I know a lot of other teams do something similar, but yeah, there wasn't no basketball goal in there. Pete had basketball goal in the meeting room, and he had 4 of them on the practice field indoor. So even in practice, like if somebody tricked you, like, man, go shoot some hoops. Take your mind off football real quick. Get back right.
Okay, I feel that, man. So did you face any adversity in the NFL? And if you did, how did you overcome that?
Yeah, man, I think my whole career is about adversity. You talk about being told that you're second string, but also being on practice squad. I had to overcome that. And then I think the biggest adversity I had was just like, no matter how well I did, I always felt like they was trying to replace me. I made it personal. But like, no matter when you drafted, that's what the NFL is about. It's always about getting better and replacing you and like, what you did for me now. But I took it so personal because I felt like I should be rewarded. Like, okay, I done proved y'all wrong being undrafted. I want the reward with the contract. I want the reward with the start. You know what I mean? Like, there was a situation where they had drafted a guy, I believe, first round. And from the beginning, you can tell I was better than him. From the first day of practice. And I made sure to tell because I was playing well and Mike had left. I said, I'm going to show these boys I'm better. I don't know why I drafted him, right?
Yeah.
And it came to a point where, like, he would start the game, and then 2 plays later, I would come in, and I would have 30, 40 snaps, and he would only have 5. I'm like, why is he starting? Why can't I get that start? You know what I mean? Like, it's little to other people, like, oh, you're doing the most plays. I don't care. I want to hear my name called or my family see me run out the thing. You know what I mean? So it was one of those things that, and then at one point in time, I just was like, who cares, bro? I don't care no more. Like, I don't care. That's just my goal, and you know what I mean, is to just keep proving them wrong. That's what God wanted me to do. He wanted me to have the tougher road. But yeah, that was adverse times, because there'd be times when I'd be like, man, I'm doing everything right. I'm not doing this, that, and the third. I'm not cheating the game. And I ain't getting rewarded. But I had to be like, that's not for you. You know what I mean? This is your journey.
I feel that. Looking back at your career, what did football teach you? Like, what any lessons did you learn from there?
Man, I was just talking to this with my son's mom, talking to her about this, but I feel like football taught me how to be a black man in America.
Definitely.
People, like, it sounds a little crazy, but like, there's not another sport or another activity that you can do safely that teaches you how America would treat you as a black man. We talk about racism, you're going to experience that in there. You talk about adversity, you're going to experience that. But you talk about just pushing yourself beyond your limits, right? You talk about being hoed in a sense, like, you know what I mean? Feel like you deserve something and not getting it. You know what I mean? You talk about just blending and learning how to almost code switch or blend in because of a situation. You know what I mean? You go from high school where it might be people you know and people you're used to, but once you get to college, if you're a good player, you had a PWI. Now you got to learn how to be a black man in America that's blending in with them and how to be yourself, stay yourself, right? But also not tick off the status quo or tick the people off who got you where you're at, things like that. So I just feel like, man, every kid, whether you're good or bad, like, football is just so important because there's no way you can do this and you can mess up, right? I can talk back to a coach and he can say some racist things or whatever to me, but I'm still okay. But if that was to happen outside of the football field with a cop or something else, it could be different. So it's a place, a space as a black man, you can do it, you can mess up, learn from it, and still live and see another day. We don't get them chances out in the regular world, you know? So I think that's the biggest thing it taught me coming from a single parent household. Like, as much as I love my dad, my mom raised me. And football was my dad. That taught me how, hey, this is how a man acts. Like, you know what I mean? So
being a black man in America, we definitely got to keep highlighting that for sure, because it's definitely different for sure. So how do you stay connected with the game today?
Man, watching the games. I play Madden. I'm a fantasy draft guy.
Okay.
So Madden with the boys. Like I said, I watch a lot of the games. And then recently, man, I'm thinking about getting into coaching. Everyone always told me I'd be good at it, but I was kind of, my career got cut short because of my injury, even though I played longer than most people. But I had this competitive edge where I felt like I couldn't teach anybody because I wanted to be, you know what I mean? Like I could have been a GA and already been coaching in the pros, but I was like, I can't coach these dudes. Seattle want me to coach. I'm like, I can't do it because I'm gonna be like, hey, this is what I would do. Like I'm supposed to be here, and they wouldn't be coming from a place of purity of just pure like trying to help them. So I was like, I don't want to do it until I can feel like I can look at somebody and really just want what's best for you and not compare myself to them. As you like I said, I'm with the Bible and comparison to killer of joy. I didn't want to take someone else's joy because I'm over here comparing myself to them and what I would have or would not have done. But like now, recently, I actually just applied for a coaching job. And we'll see how that goes, like an assistant coach, just to kind of get my feet wet, see how it is up there, help some kids out. We'll see how it goes.
Okay, for sure. I'm definitely gonna be tapped in, rooting for you for your journey. So going back to you said you playing, man. You be on the you on PlayStation 5?
Yeah, I'm on PS5, man.
Okay, I gotta get your game attached so we can play.
Listen, I'll get on anything. I'll go because you do cross-play now. I had an Xbox. I used to play both. I like Madden. Win or lose, I'm gonna talk trash. But I really like Madden. That's how I stay in touch for real.
You play NCAA too?
Yeah, I play NCAA. I mean, it's only been one. I think I'm better at Madden, but I think it's a mental thing. The game's just different on it. But I still play it though.
Okay. So I ain't even asked you this. So like what you like to do outside of football and how do you stay motivated outside of football? Like what's your hobbies?
So I got a hookah company that I run. So I'm social in that aspect. Just doing hookah. I like to smoke hookah, but I also got on that when I got done with football. I had to get my mind right. I went to pure recovery. I did some real one-on-one counseling and got help to understand like my next stage and how to mentally lock in because people don't teach you about the PTSD you experience after football. The love, the love is gone, the fans is gone. So I did take the time out to do that. Shout out to Mike B and them boys for telling me to do that. But my counselor said, man, you ever talk about smoking hookah? I'm not trying to encourage you to be a smoker. I'm kind of chill, I was like, nah, not really. And I tried. I was like, it did mellow me out a little bit. And then I just seen, when I got to Texas, this how people be wanting it. I was like, I can make some money off this. So that's what I do in my free time. Aside from that, man, I walk my dog. I love dogs. I work out. I listen to a lot of music, man. I think I'm a rapper, so every once in a while, me and my boys just go book studio time and be rapping and never put nothing out. So like, it's cool. I'm a TV show guy. I'm just chilling, man.
Sure. I understand that. So what advice can you give like young people who want to make it to the NFL one of these days?
I think the best advice I can give anybody trying to make it to the NFL is that you got to decide right now what is the dream? Is the dream making it to the NFL? Because if that's the case, you're not going to play long because once you make it, what's next, right? Is the dream providing for your family? You can make it long in the NFL then because you're doing everything for somebody. You found your why, right? You know what I mean? So just to figure out what your dream is, and once you figure out what the dream is, attack it. But you're going to realize it's always the journey that's going to be the most successful thing, the most fulfilling thing, I should say, is the journey. So, like, lock in, figure out what the dream is. Both of them are attainable. At the end of the day, if you make it for 1 year, that's still a boost in life to get you started on your thing. But, you know what I mean? If you want to provide for your family, then make sure it's that because it might not be football. It might be something beyond football, but football can also get you there, So I just say figure out what your dream is and what that looks like for you.
So the last question I got to you before I close this podcast out, like, what's next for you?
Man, next is, I don't know, there's a lot next for me, just figuring it out. I'm still just playing my cards and trying to figure out where I fit in and what I can do and what I can't do, what I can excel at, This economy, you want to keep making money. That's what I want to do. I got a son who's about to turn 2. So now everything I do is for him, I'm trying to figure out ways to, if he's not athletically gifted or whatever, he ain't got to want for nothing, you know what I mean? But also not make him too spoiled. So all I'm trying to do is run up money in a positive way, be a positive impact on my community, positive impact on my family, like, you know what I mean? So, what's next for me is just what's next for me. I don't know. We're going to find out.
Only God knows, right? Well, I said, appreciate you taking the time to come on my podcast, my guy.
I appreciate you, man. It's been good. I haven't talked about my journey in a minute. Like I said, I don't talk about ball a lot. So it takes for someone to bring it out of me to talk about it. But I really appreciate you giving me
I remember when them people told you, said today, know you. I said, if I'd have saw you, I would have known you. Because I remember you from your playing days for sure, man. Well, I said, it's other, baby. Appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you. It's the hair, too. When I grew my hair, people like, who's that?
Probably if you cut your hair, people recognize you. But me as a fan, I just know, I
appreciate that, man, for real, for sure.
But if you guys like today's video with Brandon Jackson, make sure you guys subscribe to D-Hop TV. Appreciate it, my boy.
I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. All right. Like that piece, too.